Tracey Meade was 14 when she died. Why anyone should stab her is a mystery, and it's proving just as hard unravelling the last days of her life. It's in a tower block off the Harrow Road in London, near an area called Little Venice, but Tracey often spent the night with relatives not far away in Kensal Rise. Tracey had been playing truant. In fact, she'd barely been to school for months, and used to sit around with friends or wander through the streets of northwest London. Our reconstruction features actresses, but Tracey's real mother and other witnesses have also taken part.
Hi, good evening. Can I help you at all?
Yeah, I've come about my daughter. I'm really worried. I think she's gone missing.
What's your daughter's name, please?
It's Tracey Meade.
And how old is Tracey?
She's 14. She's never done anything like this before.
When was the last time you saw Tracey?
It's Monday evening. She spent the day up her nan's, that's 65 Lothrop Street. Her mates often went round there to call for her.
One of her friends had called on her the afternoon she disappeared.
Hello, I'm coming out. No, I can't. I've got to take Tanya down to Mum's later, so...
Well, you staying down here tonight?
No, I'm going to come back here later.
Tracey showed no sign that she planned anything unusual.
That's at Drip Street.
All right then, so I'm not there. Tracey was my best friend for about a year. She always had a happy smile on her face and was always joking and laughing about. We never really used to do much when we went out, except go in each other's houses, watch videos or listen to music.
All right then, I better go because my mum's got my dinner.
Tracey said she'd knock back for me that night, but she never did, and that was the last time I see her.
Around 5:30, Tracey took her younger sister, Tanya, from their nan's house back to the Warwick estate to their mother's flat.
We're a pretty close family, and Tracey used to like staying at my sister's and my mum's, and she never did like my flat because we're stuck on the 6th floor.
Sounds lovely.
That night she just seemed her normal self, like nothing different about her, or not moody or anything like that. It was, you know, just her plain self, like she normally is every day.
Mum, I'm going to go into school tomorrow, so can I have some bus fare, please?
Oh, this is costing me a fortune.
In fact, as usual, Tracey didn't go to school next day, and so far as is known, when she disappeared, she only had her bus fare to her name.
Being the parent of a teenager, you've got to trust them. That's what I did with Tracey. I trusted her. I don't know what went wrong.
Right, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going to go and stay at Auntie Jackie's tonight.
I found out earlier today that she hadn't gone up my sister's that night like she said, and she hadn't gone to school the next day either. And I'm really worried.
Right, but let's get all our details down for a missing persons report.
Kim Meade wasn't satisfied that the police were acting with sufficient urgency, and 3 days after she'd last seen Tracey, she began to go searching through the neighbourhood in her own attempt to find out what had happened.
Have you seen her?
No.
I went round all Tracey's friends and people who knew her, and then when I got back, I heard that a young girl had seen her on the Wednesday, the day I reported her missing. She said she saw Tracey underneath the Halfpenny Steps bridge near the Harrow Road, rowing with a boy who was a bit taller than Tracey and had fair hair. The bridge isn't far from where my mum lives.
Nearly 2 weeks after Tracey disappeared, a girl much like her was seen some 3 miles from her home.
Love? Yeah, if I keep going down that way, will I still be in Shepherd's Bush? No, you're going towards Acton up there. What are you looking for?
Adam's Cafe.
Adams.
Yeah.
Have you looked in the markets?
I'm not sure where it is.
Well, there's loads of cafes up there. I'm walking up that way. Do you want to walk up there with me?
Yeah, okay then.
Okay,
Yeah.
come on.
I'm supposed to be meeting my boyfriend and his mates in Adam's Cafe.
Right, well, there's loads of cafes down there. I should start working your way around the outside.
Okay then, thanks for your help.
All right, hope you find him.
Bye.
If this wasn't Tracey, and you know who it might have been, do call us so that she could be eliminated from the inquiry. 3 hours later, at 4:30 on Friday the 31st of January, two girls went into a cafe on the Goldhawk Road. Again, do you know who they were?
Eli, do you fancy pie mash? Yeah, ready for. Oh, you love it. Could I have 2 pie mash, please? Take away.
I do remember the two girls coming in. They looked as though they'd been sleeping rough. They was very clean and tidy, but very tired. The young girl who ordered the pie mash had black bobbed hair. She was very pretty looking, but also very young looking. The girl with blonde hair had something stuffed under her jacket, but I don't know what it was.
Next afternoon, on Saturday the 1st of February, Tracey's body was recovered from the Grand Union Canal near Kensal Rise. Tracey had drowned quite recently after being stabbed.
Colin Wright, what do you think happened?
Tracey was a streetwise kid. She had lots and lots of friends. I believe she went to that canal with somebody who she knew.
One person or perhaps a group of people?
No, I believe she would have gone there with a group. She was that sort of girl who surrounded herself with lots of friends.
Are you suggesting this wasn't a premeditated murder or even a spontaneous, deliberate attack, but maybe a prank that went wrong?
It's my own personal opinion, Nick, that she went there with a group of friends. Things led on, and unfortunately, Tracey ended in the canal. She was stabbed, but drowned.
Now, the stab wounds were relatively superficial, weren't they? I mean, she either was pushed or stumbled into the
That could be.
canal.
We'll never know.
It looked as though it was a sex attack, I gather. I mean, as though there was some sexual motive in as much as some of her clothes were found in one location and some in another, and she was only partly clothed.
She was partially clothed when she was found in the canal. I believe that was probably the motive. I believe that she may have gone there with a group of other children, and things progressed far more than she expected.
Now, you're suggesting there are going to be several kids who live in that area who know what happened or have heard gossip, heard talk about it.
I'm almost sure, my intuition leads me to believe that there's children out there, some of them who may be close friends, who know just what went on that night.
They may be very worried about ringing in, frankly.
They may well be, but I can assure them that I will treat them with discretion, I will treat them fairly, but I need to speak to them because they hold the clue to this murder.
You think you're going to find the answer in time from friends of hers, from people? Do you think it's going to come out, if not tonight, eventually you'll find out how this happened?
There are some people out there who must be worrying about this at the moment, and I know eventually one of them will come forward. I would prefer that to be now rather than later.
Now, there's this missing 2 weeks in Tracey's life. There she was saying that she'd be with her nan. That was about middle of January, and then she wasn't found till the very end of January, in fact the first day of February. You've no idea where she was at that time?
There's no suggestion, Nick, that she was kidnapped. She went away of her own volition. She wasn't distressed or upset. She was around the Harrow Road and Paddington area, and she'd been seen on a number of occasions. So we know she was living somewhere, but where that was, we've not found out.
Wherever she was staying, she might have left a T-shirt like this, because this is the T-shirt she was wearing when she left home.
That was a T-shirt, a similar T-shirt to this, a little bit dark,
not the
I think.
one that she was found with when she died.
That's right.
Now, what about all these sightings of people? Are they red herrings? Do you want people to come forward and say, that was me, you can eliminate me from this inquiry, or are you pretty sure that they really were Tracey?
We're not too sure, and I don't think we will be sure until those people come forward, but the descriptions are so similar, we'd obviously like to trace those people, especially the young girl with the bob-type haircut who was seen in the pie mash shop.
Oh, well, there she is. I mean, if that was you and you had nothing to do with Tracey, don't know her, please ring us. If you do know Tracey, that was you, do please ring us. There was a boy, of course, seen with her arguing, it seemed, under a bridge. Again, just could have been a friend of hers.
That's right, yes, just under the halfpenny steps there, a young boy of age about 16, blondish hair with a white baseball cap. Now, I'd like him to come forward because that could also save us a lot of time.
OK, well, if you know anything about this whatsoever, do please call us now. Remember, you can speak to a BBC researcher if you want, rather than to a police officer. The number's there, 081 811 8181. Or you can call the Kensington Incident Room on 071 937 7945.